So now let's flip the script. After winning up in San Francisco, the Washington football team comes in here this Sunday. Julie Donaldson joins us, part of the broadcast team, actually the first regular on-air female broadcaster in the history of the NFL. It's pretty cool. She had her first regular season game as Washington took down the Eagles on Sunday. Thanks for joining us out here. First and foremost, what was Sunday like for you in the booth and breaking that barrier?
You know, it's kind of pretty cool. And every time I still hear that, I have to take a pause and be like, wow, I'm a first, because there are so many women in this business that are first that, you know, I look up to as idols. I was talking with just Doris Burke the other day, and she's going to be the first female to call the playoffs in the NBA. And I'm like thinking, you know, not to by any stretch of the imaginations say that we're there, but the fact that there are so many firsts by what women are doing in sports, I think it's great. And you know what, if it's myself, then cool, but it was fun. You know, I felt like I just did the job that I would have done on anything. It just happens to be that I'm a female doing it. But fortunately, we had a win to celebrate as well.
Julie Donaldson with us for a couple of minutes. Washington football team here Sunday taking on the Cardinals, two teams at 1-0. On the field, let's talk about first the coach, the move with Ron Rivera. What has he brought to the organization?
Stability, you know, and accountability. And those are things that this team, I feel like over the years, it's kind of just been like a little bit of a roller coaster. And, you know, everything that was going on, he's brought in to try and turn around a team that only won 3 wins. And then COVID hit. So he doesn't even get to meet his staff and all the players before we're shut down in this virtual world of having to do it through Zoom. And then, of course, you have, you know, the social injustice issues that he had to face, the team rebranding, going through a name change he had to face. And, of course, now having to go through squamous cell carcinoma and go through cancer treatment. You know, but throughout the entire process, he's like this. He's just steady. And that's the one thing that every coach that has worked with him before, every player that has worked with him and played underneath him before has said, and now the guys that are with him that weren't with him are understanding. It's his leadership style doesn't change. And he says he gets that from being grown up in the military, is that you present a front and people will buy into that. Now, certainly when he goes to home, you know, when he's in the safety, he probably can, you know, let loose a little bit and exhale, because this treatment is really hard on him. It's taking a toll. But if there was a man to be able to lead this franchise right now amongst all the controversy that we're facing, he is the right guy.
In terms of players, I could go up and down the roster, but let's just start with your quarterback, Dwayne Haskins. And what will the fans in Arizona be seeing on Sunday?
A different quarterback than you saw last season. You know, in his rookie campaign, you know, I think things got lost a little bit in the shuffle of Case Keenum and Colt McCoy going out there. Then all of a sudden you just threw him into the fire and said, okay, now we're going to focus on you and it's your team. He knew coming into this season, it was his team. He knew exactly what head coach Ron Rivera wanted from him. It was very clear what he had to work on. He worked on his body. He worked on his leadership. He did the things he needed to do in order to be a leader of this franchise. There's the one and only that just jumps right on the top of my head. It's Chase Young. I mean, look, we drafted him number 2 overall, and had Cincinnati not needed a quarterback, thank you that they did, this team was able to pick him up. Otherwise, for certain, he would have been gone at that number 1 spot. Every player that I ask, is he as good as advertised? Will he be as good as advertised? Their answer is he's better. So if he's better than what we are expecting from him, and he had a sack and a half in that game against Carson, and I guarantee you he would have been able to have more. But what he does is he opens it up for everybody else to be able to have the opportunity. They had 8 sacks on Carson Wentz. They haven't had that many in a while. I think their record is 10 total. They've had that 2 times, but it's been quite a few years since they've had that. In this defense, with him out there and drawing so much attention, and he is fast, so Kyler Murray better be ready, because we know he can get out and run. Chase has that speed. Montez Sweat has that speed. Ryan Kerrigan can come in with his legs rested, and you get to see what he can do. He had 2 sacks against the Eagles. And the interior guys, they were able to get out there and have their own as well. So Chase Young, when you see him on the field, he is a prototype of what a football player should look like, and he plays like that as well. So I'll start with Chase, go to the D-line. That's what you really have to worry about on Sunday.
Julie, it's been a pleasure. Great insight. Thanks for the time.
Of course. We'll see you on Sunday.